Let's rattle through Sean's game of the year.
Is it repacking?
Sean has got 2 games listed in no categories, but 2 games listed. The first one is, oh wait, no, you got to go bottom up. I forgot. So his number 2 game of the year is Big Asses in all caps. His number 1 game of the year being Big Farts in all caps. Truly, it's an honor just to be nominated, but those are Sean's.
I'd like to thank the Academy of Big Asses.
Ooh, that's where I should work.
Does anybody have 3 games for this category?
I have
yes.
5. So yes.
I have 3 and a backup if you won't count my number 3.
I don't know how that works.
Well, I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna say, "Hey, does this count?" And you're gonna be like, "Oh, you know what? Maybe that doesn't count." And I'm gonna go,
Man,
"Oh, okay, well, I
really don't like that I would have to even consider that.
It's a Porter remaster that came out in 2021.
Yeah, it is. Maybe.
What?
I don't know what that means.
Well, we will talk about it, and Dash will go, "Well, no, I'm not going to count it." And then I'll go, "Okay, then it's this backup one."
Well, we'll find out.
And then I'll say the backup one, and you'll be like, "Well, I don't know about that." Yeah. So I did video games, and then this one is just a panther showing off his balls, and I thought that was funny.
It's got good panther ball physics, just like Red Dead.
Panther ball physics like this are only attainable through crunch.
Mm-hmm.
100-hour work
it's unfortunate, but it's worth it, like if you really have to suffer for your art.
You know what art we don't have to suffer for? It is the best remaster or port. So this would be any remake, re-release, for whatever reason we feel like these deserve to be called out. To be clear, this is not just an old game. That is a different category. This is something that saw a re-release or remastering or redoing released in 2021. And my number 3 is the Xbox Series X release of Microsoft Flight Simulator. I nominate that because it is fucking insane that they have it running on any console of any sort.
Oh, yeah.
That game barely ran on my PC, and being able to just boot up this fucking tiny ass Xbox and play Flight Simulator, which is still fucking incredible.
It's cool. I did get a chance to play it on a PC.
It's
with
super
a flight
cool.
stick.
Yeah,
I stop crashing into my house.
I was crashing into my house.
I went through a hurricane when they were happening in the American fucking Southeast earlier this year. I fucking flew around my trip that I took through California, and it all, like, it's 30 frames a second given, but like the fact that it's running at all is nothing short of a miracle.
Oh yeah.
And I have to admire that. They could have very easily made that PC exclusive. But I think that remains to be like one of the few Series X exclusive games. And I imagine if an original Xbox One were to even look at it, it would simply combust.
They're doing the cloud gaming thing though, so
God, that would be. I mean, that game's floaty enough. I think it could work.
I want to play it on my phone.
Soon. Give it time.
I want to get on a plane and fly somewhere and then fly in the same route on Microsoft Flight Simulator on my phone.
I flew over my office. I took screenshots of it. I sent it to people in the office, and no one thought that was cool except me. So you know what? Fuck them. I parked outside.
Isn't that the true Microsoft Flight Simulator experience though?
The office?
No, because I flew the plane over to your office and parked on Metcalf. And saw your office. That is how I ended that trip. But Ryan, where do you park when you go to talk about your number 3 game that I may or may not be counting?
Yeah, I think that was a good transition too.
No, 3.
So we'll see if it counts. With yours being what it is, I think you'll be more inclined to accept it. But the Xbox One version of Forza Horizon 5. Yeah, it's kind of a port, right?
I mean, I'll straight up count that. No, that's incredible.
Perfect.
Okay, that's my number 3 also.
Good. It was one of those ones just because it released the same day. I was like, well, maybe it might just be like an old release of it, but I felt like they were working backwards with it.
Yeah,
and
that
kept
wasn't what they
everything
targeted.
could. Yeah. So that was mine. If it wasn't that, I was gonna say maybe Nier, just because it seemed like they actually cared about like remastering some of the stuff. I didn't
They
play
did a
it.
good job with that port.
But honorable mention for a game I didn't play, but I needed a potential backup just in case you were a dick.
And what's the name of that game?
Forza Horizon 5.
No. What's the name of the other one? The Nier one? What's that name? What's that game called?
It is Nier Remastered.
Okay.
Remastered.
But yeah, no, that I know we touched on it during the talk about Forza Horizon 5, but I cannot believe that game exists.
Me neither.
That it exists well. I'm very happy about it. And it can do crossplay.
Yeah. Which we did.
Somehow.
It's crazy. Good game.
With that, Hunter, what is your remaster or port? Is it Nier?
No, my number 3 is the PC port of a beloved Xbox indie game. I made a game with zombies in it.
He's right.
Because I completely forgot about that game, and then all of a sudden I turned on my computer, booted up Steam, and it was right there on the front page, still free to play after 10 years. They just ported it onto Steam.
I
Play that again.
I am so curious what compelled him to port that to PC, especially for free.
Like, he didn't change the song, so I mean, that's a little bullshit. Because in the song, he still says, "It's only $1. You should totally play it."
I mean,
well, maybe it's more on like a donation system now.
He could have just opened up Game Maker and exported it to a PC executable instead.
Oh man, it was made by Ska Studios.
Yeah.
That's a cool company name.
Ska Studios is good people. Dead. No, they do fucking they do Salt and Sanctuary. Like, that's like the fucking Dishwasher and shit. That's Ska Studios.
Well, I never played Salt and Sanctuary, so I don't believe.
I never played Dishwasher either.
Never played Charlie Murder?
Made a game with zombies. Nope, didn't play that one either.
I like Ska Studios. Well, I mean, I also really like Salt and Sanctuary, but
what's
you also really like Ska?
Space Raptor.
I don't think I've played that one.
It's all capitalized with some exclamation points and not enough spaces.
A lot of exclamation points.
Well, yeah, I made a game with zombies in it. 2 more people is always a noble endeavor, and it must always be lauded.
Or bringing it to the same people again 10 years later.
Because no one knows what that fucking game is except us. When's the Self-Actor Psychokinetic Force port?
Never. Spammy.
I'm pretty sure, like, I think 10 people other than us played that game for one night.
Jason, what is a game that hopefully more than 10 people played on your list?
I didn't have a number 3, so I guess it's Forza.
Damn it.
I made a game with zombies in it?
Well,
although I don't know if I'd count it as a port, so you might have to pick a backup.
Yeah, you should just say Nier numbers. You like Nier. Oh my god. The cops are a minority in this time.
What?
We've got more people who like Nier than don't. We can gang up on you.
Hey, I only like Nier Tomato.
Yeah, same.
I haven't played the first.
See, but now it's an even number of people who like the first Nier.
Shit, you're right.
Is Hunter the only one that likes both?
It's a stalemate.
No, Hunter might be the only one who likes both.
I like both.
He likes both.
I also like Drakengard.
To be fair, I've never played Nier, the first Nier, or the remaster of the first Nier, so maybe I like it.
I mean, it's fine. I just fell off of it.
Does it have really pretty music?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think they redid the music for it too.
They
redid
great.
The voice acting. They did like a lot of just really cool small things to make
as well as like the quality of life improvements that game desperately needed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's your advanced hog riding physics.
Because I guess we just have to talk about that.
My number 3 is whatever you decide it was.
Cool. It's near.
I made a game with zombies in it.
It is. Jason was a big fan of the Great Ace Attorney.
Yeah, that is technically a port, isn't it?
Because I didn't think those would ever fucking come out here. But whatever.
It's also it's 2 games in one.
Because my My number 2 is one of the most ported games in existence finding its home on a new platform, but in fact adding a huge twist to it. It is Resident Evil 4 VR.
Really want to play that.
I don't want to call it a system seller, but it was the straw that broke the camel's back on me getting a Quest. And holy,
it was the wires.
Thank you. I mean, the wires were like what made me interested in it, but like once that was announced as an exclusive, it's kind of like, well, guess I'm gonna fuck with that Quest. One of my favorite games ever getting a VR treatment, and it is so fucking cool.
I need to check it out. It's just expensive and I'm lazy.
They change the balance of the game because you can move around like crazy, but reloading takes a long time because it's all manual. So it's like if you want to reload your pistol, you have to eject the magazine, slam up a new one, cock the pistol, and then start shooting. Or it's like, you need to load shells into the shotgun, or bolt action your rifle. So like your reload speed way slower, but your movement is like running around like it's a fucking serious Sam game.
I think they made the enemies faster too. Like,
yeah,
so they still keep the tension,
faster.
even though you can move around and shit now.
They also take a few more hits. The reason I have stopped playing it is there is a bug that exists in the game, and more people have experienced this because I Googled it, where you just have infinite ammo and infinite grenades and infinite healing items.
Did you check if you had your bandana on or not?
No, and see that's the problem is I got the bonus strap for the Quest, which must function as a bandana.
Yeah, infinite ammo bandana.
So if you want to talk about ways to remove tension from that game, it is
give me all the bullets,
infinite healing items, and infinite ammo. And I would then need to restart the game in order to disengage that glitch. Hope it doesn't happen again. And I just haven't done that. But I really, really loved. I played basically up until the El Gigante fight, which seeing a huge fucking El Gigante when you're itty bitty in VR is super cool.
Is it pretty much the entire like same game?
It is exactly the entire same game.
I guess I just assumed it was going to be like super watered down, like on rails or something.
Nope. And it still plays out like the cutscenes in like a viewer window. But whenever you talk with Hunnigan on your little device, it's a device that flips out. And you have to like scroll through it with your hand.
I was just about to ask about that, Ash, too.
Yeah. You get a little handheld device and you can talk to Hunnigan.
Do you play it like standing up and like moving around in the room?
You can you don't have to walk to move. You move with the control stick, or you can teleport. It lets you pick that, but you can play it seated or standing. It changes the placement of the things you have to grab if you're playing seated or standing. But no, it's straight up the whole game. And it's also just that fucking game again. One of the best games ever made.
But you didn't even play far enough to see how it is in VR when he says your right hand comes off.
And I didn't get to see the button in VR either.
Maybe someday.
But with that, that game's cool as fuck. One of the coolest VR games. Not the coolest VR game. We'll get there. But I will go ahead and pass to Ryan for his number 2 remaster port.
Yeah. The one of the more famous, just kind of like lost games, I guess. But they finally did like an actual re-release of the Scott Pilgrim versus the World game, and it's cool. Like, I didn't think that was going to come back out. They delisted it. God, how long ago? Had to have been like 8 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, PS3 era.
Yeah, and never re-uploaded it. Did anything like that, just kind of existed in this weird limbo of everyone being like, hey, that was an amazing game. And everyone's just like, yep, sure wish I could play it. And yeah, it finally came back out. Are you grabbing your copy? I can grab
just
mine.
In case it gets delisted again. We're fucking covered.
Yeah, and then they put in the I don't know how much remastering they did, but they did put the like complete stuff in here. So like all the DLC.
Play as Wallace.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so like it's just a really what you would normally expect from a generation up release of a game, but now it's actually playable again. Something I just thought this was going to be one of those things that they were just like, we don't fucking care enough about Scott Pilgrim to re-release it.
Like, it's that thing of there's enough like people involved with the licensing that no one's going to get paid because it's barely going to fucking sell, even though it has like this really weird cult status.
Mm-hmm.
But those people are very loud. and got Ubisoft to do it. And I would love to know how much money it made, if anything. But
$6.
I don't particularly like that game, but I still think it's really, really cool that it got to come out because the people who like it seem to really love it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that feeling of having a game get delisted and then you just kind of get bone zoned. But with that, Hunter, what is your number 2 game to get bone zoned to?
My number 2 is the Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne port for a remake for PS4 and stuff.
You got that Demi Fiend.
It's got that Demi Fiend. It introduced another generation of people to use buffs because Matador is going to fuck you otherwise. And you're not going to like it.
I've almost bought that game about 4 or 5 times because I see it for like $15 and I'm like, maybe.
Which one's Nocturne?
That's
the one with the guy with the lines on him.
It was one of the first PS2 like ones they made.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The one with featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series.
Yeah. Which in this one they made it so that it's DLC. That's free, but you can choose whether to download Dante or the main character from a different Shin Megami game.
Oh, that's cool.
Which one did you go with?
I went with the Shin Megami one because he's objectively better. Because he's got better stats and his skills do more damage.
But it's not as fun.
Does he like pizza?
I don't know, probably. He's from like 1920s Japan. He probably doesn't know what pizza is.
I mean, hey, if I know anything about people from 1920s Japan eating modern Japanese food, I can tell you they enjoy it. We'll get there.
How ominous.
Yeah,
we'll get there.
That sounds like a threat.
We'll fucking get there. But Jason,
just still playing that rice patty game.
I gave it back.
I don't think you booted it up.
I genuinely did want to, but I never actually did.
All right, I need to give you back Resident Evil 7.
I know you do.
I need to give you back Resident Evil 8.
I know you do.
I'm not currently borrowing a game from you.
No, you're not. But Jason, what is your number 2 game that you're not borrowing from me?
My number 2 game was something that I've meant to play for a fairly long time, but never got around to it because it's on a shitty, garbage piece of shit console that I own in a box somewhere. It's Mario 3D World.
Mario 3D World kicks ass.
The game's awesome. I loved Mario 3D Land on the 3DS. I meant to play this game for I don't know however many years it's been out. But hey, the Wii U is not worth taking up space on my entertainment system. It's in a box.
Mine is currently taking up space on my entertainment system.
I have multiple Wii U games that are still in their plastic because I never got around to playing them before I boxed that system up and never played it again.
I mean, most of the good ones have been ported to Switch already.
Exactly.
Not Amiibo Fest.
Not Xenoblade Chronicles
Land.
X either.
Not
Mario 3D World was, and it was awesome. I played a lot of it, and it's got some good replay value. I mean, it's a fun Mario game. It's not like it. I mean, it is what it is. It's not Super Mario Odyssey, but it's pretty fucking solid.
I'm really happy that one did get ported because that game being stuck on that system is heartbreaking. I love 3D World. I think that game's incredible. Champions Road, I went and 100%ed it when it got re-released. I did Champions Road again. Champions Road remains to be, in my opinion, the best single 3D platforming level ever made. I love 3D World. I think it's just an absolute joy from start to finish. I think it's a tour de force in Nintendo style game design. I'm really, really happy that more people were able to play it.
I think 3D Land and 3D World are just very solid, simple, but complex enough to be fun for as long as they are Mario games.
I think they properly iterate on the Galaxy idea set, and they compact it more, but I think it leads to significantly better.
I like the double cherries.
I like the double cherries.
I do too. I like the cat suit.
I like the cat suit.
I like Mario characters dressing up in different animal costumes.
I like furry Mario. I like the hidden Luigi's. Also,
I consider them closer to mascots.
Bears repeating the game that introduced Captain Toad gameplay.
Always be a good thing, yeah.
And I adore Captain Toad game. Fantastic stuff.
And Mario 3D World on the Switch came with a fun little expansion thing that's never going to get
and it's
iterated
not eligible
on.
for this category. We'll talk about it. We'll fucking get there.
It's part of the package.
It's sure. The same way that Crackdown was the game that came with the Halo 3 demo. Like
exactly.
Sometimes you get a little bit of a bonus. But yeah, that's a good remaster report. Moving on to my number one. Ryan can speak to my affection for this game firsthand because he had to fucking put up with it. But
Dark Souls.
This year, I made an important transition in my life. For years, I have been a Doom guy. I love Doom. I love what's going on with Doom. But I saw the grungy, dark brown light this year, and I have actually accepted that I'm a Quake guy.
So your number one's Mario 3D World?
My number one is the re-release they did of Quake. I was on vacation in San Diego, California, sitting on the beach. And I was sitting on the fucking beach, wishing I was back at Ryan's apartment playing Quake. Because it dropped in the middle of my vacation. We checked it out on a whim, and I was like, hey, we should, what if we just fucking keep playing that? Like, what if we just kind of fucking kept playing Quake?
And we did.
Almost bought it on my Switch while I was there, so I could not just take up all of Ryan's TV time, and I could just fucking play Quake.
That's the Quake soundtrack there, but it's catching the light just
Reznor.
right.
Looks like a mirror.
No, it's actually by Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah, you're right. By the 9 Inch Nails. In addition to this port, not only did they bring forward like the expansions, they did the first expansion that Machine Games made, but then they did a second set of levels made by Machine Games.
Which are those like new to this game?
The second set, I think they're standalone mod packs, but I think that it came out very, very, very recently.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they've got two like worlds made by Machine Games. People rebooted those new Wolfenstein games. It's got online multiplayer, which I immediately got fucking smoked in. But the original Quake, as it turns out, holds up insanely well. I think it holds up better than Doom does.
Never played Quake.
It's free on Game Pass. And it's an incredible port, and I would highly, highly recommend it if you like id style shooters. It is eye-opening how much more I love it than Doom, and I really, really like Doom, and it also makes me want them to do a new Quake even more.
In this style, though. I don't want a Quake 2 or Quake 3.
Don't give me a Quake Champions. Don't fuck with that. No, I want do what you did for Doom to Quake. Give me a new Quake 1. But yeah, I absolutely floored at how much I love Quake.
Yep, it just looks like one of those games.
Yeah, it's one of the, but it's all 3D.
Does Quake?
There's a reason those games
like Duke Nukem.
There's a reason those games got popular.
I can also do a tack-on
Duke
effect.
Nukem.
There is a Quake VR, and I also played that.
Is it good?
It's all right. The sense of speed sucks because they can't have you go super fast because it's VR.
Oh yeah.
So it's like really slow, but you're aiming the shotgun, you're doing the stuff.
And Jason, it's not like Duke Nukem. I played Duke Nukem this year. It does not hold up. But Duke Nukem kind of
no, Ryan, you don't understand. It's because they're comparing the cops to pigs because they're a notoriously lousy animal.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean that changes everything.
Shake it, baby.
Yeah, it's still more like level based, like a Doom, where fucking Duke Nukem, they kind of approach it like a Mario 64 kind of thing, where it's like you got this level, you kind of got to figure out what you're supposed to do to get through it. But Quake's way better, so much better, in fact, that it is also my number one remaster report.
The levels aren't mazes like in fucking Doom and Doom 2. It's not just like these pointlessly sprawling horseshit levels. All the levels are like actual levels.
I'm still more of a Doom guy. I like the music and I like everything better about Doom, but Quake, this is my first time playing it. Fucking kicks ass.
Yeah, they also
I almost booted it up again the other day just to they're fun, like pick up and play kind of things.
They did the fucking thing where they just announced it and released it that day also, which that's always going to get brownie points for me because that's the coolest fucking thing about the digital age.
Yep, but then also having all those expansions in there. They had the two older ones that are kind of, they're whatever. They're
okay.
Run of the
They're
mill.
still fun.
Yeah, but they're run of the mill id expansions. But those two Machine Games ones, like, those guys really proved why they're a Bethesda subsidiary now, why they were given the Wolfenstein shit. Like, Quake's where it's at.
Also, like, sure, it's free on Game Pass. It's fucking $10 on everything else.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's fucking phenomenal, and one might call it the best remaster report of 2021. But
I think 2 would call it the best remaster report of
2021.
I wouldn't.
2 might, but
it takes 2 to call it the best remaster report.
Hunter, if it takes 2 to make a thing go right, how many does it take for your number 1 best remaster report?
Well, my number 1 is Nier Replicant version 1.22474487139 ellipses.
He memorized that.
Because not only do I love the first Nier, but they made the combat faster and smoother. They added stuff they originally cut from the original version of Nier, which was mostly ending E and stuff like that. The one problem I'd say is that Father Nier is cooler than Brother Nier, but I mean, Brother Nier is clearly more suited for the story.
He's like a character in it, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
Not in the same way, but he shows up. But I agree with you.
I have no problem with that game. I just lost all my motivation. I didn't even make it to the fucking time skip. But it's no fault of that fucking game. I haven't felt like it. I don't fucking know, but I really enjoyed everything I did. I was able to catch a fish successfully.
Yeah, which is weird because a lot of people bitch about that, but it's not as bad as they make it out to be. Like, it's bad, but it's not horrible.
Talk to one Justin McElroy about that. But Jason, what is your number 1 remaster or port?
Can you guess?
Is it Quake?
Is
it Near Numbers?
I don't know. I don't know what all you did this year, man.
Is it Far Numbers?
I played 50. Oh, is it Mario Party?
No.
Oh,
I guess I didn't really know where that one stood because it's not really a port or remaster. It's like a mashup.
It's like greatest hits.
It's a port, but whatever.
But okay, fine. That's my number 3. Fuck.
Okay,
Forza.
there you go.
Oh, Forza, no.
My number 1 is very obviously one of the best games to be released in the last 3 years, and they happened to re-release it on PS5 in February. And that is Control.
Yeah.
Control is one of my favorite games ever, and probably it is. I think it's the only game that I have played all the way through multiple times as an adult. Like, I do not replay video games anymore. I play them once and then I never touch them again. That one, I was happy to boot it up the day the remaster came out and beat it in a couple days.
I'm going to level with you, Jason. That game came out 30 years ago, it feels like. But yeah, no, that was a good, good remaster.
It was like February 1st or something.
And especially like if you had only played it on the older consoles, like that is it's a pretty severe jump of quality and performance on the new ones. Like even
the game doesn't freeze for 10 seconds when you hit the wrong
start. No, you press
button.
Start and the start menu comes up. It's crazy.
And that game
that was all the remaster
awesome.
Needed to do was make it so the game
pretty much.
I wouldn't have even cared if it still ran like shit.
Hey, it was still my game of the year with those issues.
I would have, exactly. I still would have played it all the way through again because also there was fucking nothing else to play back at the beginning of the year.
I 100%ed that game. I got every trophy in it again. I did the DLC, which I hadn't done previously, and that was sneaking into the Alan Wake stuff.
I did some of the DLC. I fell off of it because, like, when I got to that point, I think some stuff had finally started to come out. Like, that might be when I played, like, 3D World.
One of them is extremely bad, and then the second one only I like because it's Alan Wake themed. And I like Alan Wake, But it did
they're
not
both
even make
still
my
more
top
control.
3 remasters reports this year.
But aren't they making another Alan Wake?
Yeah, and they're going to be making a survival horror game, which I don't think I agree with, but we'll get. I don't know. We'll see how it
Was
goes.
that not what Alan Wake was?
Alan Wake is a survival horror game, like Resident Evil 4 is a survival horror game, where it's like
It still
there's
falls into that category.
the goofiest shit imaginable is happening, but then also there's like monsters, I guess.
Alan Wake is a
Right.
game where you run from lit streetlight to lit streetlight,
But
but
then-
also it's in Maine or something.
And then also you have like a big showdown against zombies on a fucking like butt rock stage, and you're like lighting off pyro to kill them. It's like that Left 4 Dead ending.
Okay, cool.
And it whips a ton of ass. I love Alan Wake, but it's not horror. It's the goofiest
Well,
shit.
horror's subjective.
I guess you're right.
The spookiest thing is doing a concert to only zombies.
That's deep. But yeah, Control, that's a good one. I forgot that came out, and I was very pleased with that port, even though it got like delayed forever.
Yeah, but it got delayed into this year, so I got to do it.
Yeah, there we
Yeah.
go. It counts.
Thank God for small miracles.
But that's going to do it for us. My only other shout outs would be I loosely mentioned Great Ace Attorney earlier. It's really nice to have those localized. They also made Skyward Sword not the worst Zelda game anymore, which is kind of wild.
What did it kick into last place?
It has moved Twilight Princess into worst 3D Zelda. Because when that game doesn't have to deal with all the waggling bullshit, it's an okay Zelda game.
I'd like to
okay.
give a shout out to the Skyrim Anniversary Collection, because Skyrim's never going to leave. It's here forever. They're going to port it forever, and we're going to see the 20th anniversary of Skyrim. 10
Thank you,
years,
Todd.
baby.
Yeah, I mean,
We're going to add double fishing.
I'm very excited to see it compete with Resident Evil 4 for whatever system launches
Resident Evil
next.
4, Doom, Rayman 2. Those are out on fucking
Yeah,
everything.
I think those are the big ones.
Shout out to Control for coming out for free on PlayStation after I already bought the physical copy.
Yeah, I was not the happiest about that, especially
I still haven't opened it.
I had opened mine. And I also did not pay the sale price when I got that physical copy. I paid $40.
I at least don't mind because mine, I didn't ever own it before because I borrowed your Xbox copy. So it's the only copy I own. So I still don't mind that I have it and it's sealed because it's one of my favorite games.
Did
Yeah,
I
it's
fucking
good to have a
sell Control?
I don't know, did you?
I'd be surprised if you did.
Looks like somebody else took control.
Who the fuck?
Whoa.
Who sells
Maybe I'm
games
borrowing it.
anymore?
Hold on.
Matt wouldn't have it, would he?
It's possible.
Does Matt even have a PS5?
Yeah,
don't
Matt,
have
Jason,
it.
and I all have PS5s.
Yeah.
I've got Skyrim though.
I have
Skyrim VR.
Oh, it's because I bought it digitally. That's why I was pissed.
Oh, I bought it physically because I wanted a
Yeah.
copy. Because you
It
have
was-
a copy already.
Dang, you didn't
Yeah.
even learn your lesson from Hitman 3?
No, they put it out fucking digitally, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just get the fucking digital one because it's like, oh whatever, I could get it on PS4 also. There was some fucking reason, and then they fucking did it for PS Plus, and I was pissed. Fuck,
Never
that's
learned.
why I was angry. Okay, figured it out. But on that crushing disappointment, that'll bring us to the end of the Best Remaster report. And if you could please join us next time for Best Original Soundtrack of 2021.
I have
Where
almost
we're gonna
nothing to say.
do our best.
Yeah.
I will be taking my turn, saying the name of a game, and then passing.
That's extremely reasonable, but I hope you join us then. In the meantime, have a wonderful remaster report.